Today I want to tell you a little story. Once upon a time we had 2 little lavender hedges that bordered 2 sides of each of 2 of our fruit beds. They looked something like this. Over time, as happens to all of us, they aged and began to look past their best. Now they look something like this. Not a pretty sight. Grass had grown in among the plants. Dandelions had grown in among the plants. And in some places, huge docks had also grown in amongst the plants. So something had to be done. We started with plan A, which was to buy some more little plants, grow them on and replace them with brand new plants. This plan was shelved. We'll be back to that later. So we moved on to plan B. Plan B was to dig out the lavenders, dig a deeper hole and plant the lavenders deeper so that they could bush out. And this is what we started to do here. But the ground was hard and the lavenders just would not come out. We didn't want to damage the quince tree and we didn't want to damage the blackcurrant bushes. So plan B, like plan A, was shelved. And the next plan was to get out as many of the weeds as possible, trim the plants back as hard as I dared, because I didn't want to trim them into totally bare wood, and then hope that they would bush out and then maybe fill some of the gaps with new plants. This is where we're at the moment. Plan C. This side of the hedge doesn't look too bad. The plants are bushier. But there's one thing that spoils it. The docks. There's no way they're going to, or I'm going to be able to, dig them out. And so what I've done is spread some of that gel weed killer onto the leaves in the hope that that will actually do the trick. All these lavenders were actually grown from seed from a lavender in our greenhouse. So I may have a go at doing that again to fill in the gaps. The ones on this side are the ones we started to show you with the video at the beginning. They were grown from cuttings. And so what I've actually done is some lazy men's cuttings. Over here I've just stuck some bits of lavender that I trimmed off the bushes into the soil. I don't think they'll grow, but if you don't try, you don't win, do you? And then let's have a little walk. past the blueberries, which are looking really nice. We should get a lot of blueberries from that bush this year. The forget-me-not has been a triumph. Into our dining area. And here are some lazy mince cuttings done in a different way. These ones have been stuck into some compost in a module. Again, I don't think they'll work, but nothing ventured. Now, I talked about plan A. Let's just pop down the plot and see why plan A was a non-starter. It wasn't that the little plants that we bought didn't grow very well. They did. There were tiny plug plants which were potted up into modules. They grew into nice, strong plants and were planted in this bed to grow on before removing them and planting them as the hedging round the fruit beds. But we like how this bed looks. It's got two varieties in. I think one's Dwarf Munstead and the other one's Hidcot. And when they're in full flower, this bed looks really nice. And so plan A didn't work because we didn't want to move those plants. We liked them too much where they were. It wouldn't have worked anyway because it would have involved getting those old woody plants out, which, as I said, we found totally impossible. And so, what I will probably do next is to take some cuttings the proper way. And then maybe when these lavenders flower, take some seeds off and try planting some seeds, sowing some seeds even, and filling in with the plants that I hope will grow from that into these gaps. I don't know whether that will be plan E or not. Either way, I may show you later if I have any success or not. Whilst I've been filming, Martin edged the beds that I'd already tidied up, so now they look quite presentable, except of course for the docks, which I hope that weed killer will soon take effect upon. So for now, that's all. Bye for now.